You are listening to the TheVCast.
I'm in your ear. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the TheVCast. It's me, Vic Cedeno, and I am feeling good. Full first week of the year, wasn't it? I don't know about you, but I felt it after having so many nice little days off, relaxing. I didn't get a lot of days off in a row, so I really didn't miss a beat, but I took some days. Happy to be back. What a wonderful start. All right. A great full week. I'm doing a solo podcast. The last bunch of podcasts I've been doing, I've had somebody out. I had some guests. I don't know what you think about the guests. I'd like to hear back from you. What do you think about the guests? Or what do you think versus me rocking solo? I thought I had some stuff to talk about, so I figured I'd come down here. It's Thursday the 9th. 2020. I don't know how your year's going, but my year's off to a good start. I had some goals that I set to move forward, and moving in on some of them. Some of them I'm not, others I am, so I'm going to focus on what I am doing good. So back in the gym, signed up for Planet Fitness. So people could just hit the clunk alarm as soon as they see me. The funky clunk. Oh, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk more about that anyway on Saturday. Angel's going to come back. We're going to talk about a lot of exercise shit and intermittent fasting and all that fun stuff. That's going to be a fun conversation. Laugh It Up Tuesday was back this week after 3 weeks. Yeah, once that other Tuesday was done, it was exactly 3 weeks till the next show. So I had a good break, and a really good first show back. A really good way to set the year off. I was really nervous at first because the weather it said it was supposed to be like snow and rain. And I was like, here we go. It's going to be beat. As soon as people hear snow, they're not coming out on Tuesday. And as a producer and host of the show, the feelings are different, right? Because I have to worry about all the comics. I have to worry about people being there. I have to worry about the bar. I have to worry about, how the show's going. And I have to worry about opening the show cold and getting everybody warmed up and trying to do different jokes because I'm there every single week and I can't do the same stuff, especially if I want people to keep coming back, right? If I want reoccurring people to come back at least once a month or once every 2 weeks, and they come back and, it's a good time. We have different lineups, but I don't know what the heck my wife's making up there. That's the one thing with this spot that I'm in the basement. You can hear everything, especially I think that's water running. I don't know if this mic is picking that up or it is just picking up what I'm saying. The other mic I have when I do the conversations with people picks everything up. Anyway, back to the train of thought. So it was a really good show. I thought people weren't going to show up, and it was like right before, like 8. The show starts at 9, and it was right before at 8:45 that a couple groups of people came in. My niece's godfather, one of my sister's really close friends, from when we were kids in high school and all that stuff. He popped in, and he brought like 4 or 5 people with him, and 5 people. He brought 5 people with him, and then I had another regular that came back. This girl and her dad that come the first time they were there. I started talking to them about how they were seeing each other and shit. Like, oh, are you guys here on a date? And they're like, no, it's my dad. And I was like, all right, that's how we're gonna start. Like, how is that we're gonna start this relationship off? And I don't know. I'm sure I said something way funnier than what I just said right now. Um, the funny thing is I record all these things, and I have so much of this stuff on my phone, and just these little interactions. I wonder if I have that interaction on the phone. That was a good. I probably didn't record. I never. And then I don't. I need to keep better freaking notes. I need to get more organized. It's so depressing to even start thinking about it. All these ideas, all these jokes, all these trains of thought, they just like this podcast. They're all over the place, mostly not funny. Some things are funny. I don't know. It's a freaking mess. But what we were talking about? Oh, the show. Anyway, a lot of the anxiety before the show is worrying about all that stuff. So when I hear the snow, I actually am a little bit relieved, because if people don't show up, I'm like, hey, the weather's bad. People ain't going to come out. Like, everybody knows that. Everybody understands that anyway. But, when all the people showed up, I was like, relieved. Had a good show. All the comics had awesome sets. Everybody was on point, really funny. And we had Sharon Simon close out, Dave Namery, Heather Candela, Chips Cooney opened the show, and he did his Illusionist act, and I was so happy. He told me he was going to do it before anybody had showed up, and then when everybody showed up, like, knowing that he was going to open with that, and he did. Oh, and I'm missing a very important part to this whole story. Kimberly Hellum, she showed up, and she posted a flyer on Facebook, reposted the flyer, and guess what? 3 people showed up for her. One of her friends, from whatever the fuck she knows her from, saw it and was like, hey, I'm going to go check it out. It's Tuesday. It's free. Boom. She came through, and they ate food, had pizza. Then they had, and because I pushed the pizza. They bought pizza because I pushed the pizza. I said, I don't know, I made some joke that, I try to throw in the food. I try to mention tipping the bartenders, supporting the bar, typical stuff that you do as a host. That's what happens. They bought the pizza, and, then somebody else bought the pizza. I sold a couple pies. All right, I'm pushing pies on Tuesday. That's what I'm doing. All right. Not only am I pushing jokes and I'm pushing laughter and goodness on people, I'm pushing pies and cakes. There's no cakes there, but I can push them if they had them. You know what I'm talking about? All right. Now, who else? I know I don't want to forget anybody. I started mentioning a whole bunch of names. Frankie Rollo came through. I don't want to forget anybody. I think that was it. I don't know, I'm forgetting somebody, but anyway, the show was good, and everybody had a good time, and the bar made money. Hopefully, the waitresses made money, and the bartender made money, and that's it, really. I mean, with at least far as that show. Now it's time to, I really, really have to refocus and come up with some things to do to, just to switch it up, to make it more interesting for everybody that comes to the show, and also to make it more interesting for me, because I can get caught up in being comfortable and just doing the same thing and putting out the same stuff. But I want to mix it up. I want to do different things, especially with like TikTok and the ability to edit videos and make have these cool trends, kind of give you ideas to make videos. Some of the trends that are on there are are fun, and there's some of them are really hard to do, so that when you do it, it's impressive, and it takes you working at it to do it, and it takes you practicing. That's what people don't realize. They make fun of these kids that do these things, but guess what? When these kids, you know how much it takes. These kids don't just pick it up and do it. It's hard, and these kids practice and they work at it, and it shows them dedication. And you see that when they are interested in something, they'll take the time to do repetitive work at it. And you know, that kind of hustle should be rewarded and not mocked, in my opinion, because if you know, that's what it really is. No matter what you like doing, as long as you like doing it, and if somebody's willing to pay you to do it, do it. You know what I mean? And I don't know if people are getting paid from TikTok yet, or however that financial, I guess for ads and stuff, they're probably getting paid. Probably get paid for like posting stuff in their feed, right? Especially with all the attention they got on there. I'm just miserably failing at making content, but the Gary V challenge is in effect this month, and I haven't posted the hashtag Gary V, hashtag Gary V challenge. I haven't posted any of it. You know why? Because real G's move in silence like lasagna, son. I'm not posting none of that shit I'm doing on Gary V challenge. I'm just gonna make a post at the end of the month. I have to come up with something creative to show that I've done it all month, and then I'm gonna unleash it in one swoop. Like, yo, I did it this way. I'm talking about it now. I'm not talking about it while I was doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Let's see. But I've been thinking about that for the last few days, as far as, you know, he keeps talking about the Gary V challenge, and it's a challenge that I'm up for, just making more content, because that's one of my goals for this year, was just to be more out of my shell, more out of thinking of what other people think. You know, I've said that my whole life, that I didn't care what people think. Meanwhile, I literally modeled my whole life after what people think. And decisions that I made based on what people think. See, that's the trickery behind it. You tell yourself you don't give a fuck, right? That's the motto. I don't give a fuck of what other people think. Meanwhile, everything you're doing says otherwise. You know what I mean? Like the behavior doesn't fit the shit that you're talking. And the reality is, you do care, because if you didn't care, you know, you'd be making different moves. It don't even make sense, but it's what I feel. It's what I feel inside, all right? But I don't even know what I was talking about. Just started getting off on a rant. It's because my mouth got dry. All right, so there's goals for the new year. Another goal was to do more shows. I did my tally at the end of the month, that year in review podcast. I don't even think I put that podcast out, which is depressing, but I have the audio, so I'm gonna I just have to record this and then post it. Like, I have to do like a little preview to it, and edit it, just, you know, cut out the little nonsense in the front when I was checking everything to make sure everything was all right. And then, yeah, I'm going to post that. But anyway, in the year review that I did for 2019, I tallied that I did 45 shows. That's a rough estimate based on what I wrote on my calendar. I did not track this number. I did not actively think of this number. You know, like I didn't actively think that I was going to tally this number at the end of the year. This is the first year I ever counted. I didn't count how many shows I did the previous year. So I want to get more into tracking, you know, all of my information like that. So I counted 45 shows. So my goal for 2020 is to do double that, 90 shows, right? And one of the things I said that I had to do that is to ask for more spots. All right. Now, one thing I said when I first started doing comedy was that I wouldn't ask for spots and I wouldn't ask for opportunities until like I was 3, 4 years in, maybe 5, because my in my experience, now I'm not a young kid, I'm a 37-year-old man, and in my experience, I feel like you can't make a second first impression. Like you can't change it. The opinion of You can't change a person's first opinion of you. That's why some people that see you a certain way, no matter how you change, they still see you a certain way. And that's because that's your impression of you. A lot of comics say that you have to leave wherever you started doing comedy because the people that you started doing open mics with will always see you as an open micer, right? So, I lost my train of thought with this open micer thing. So anyway, yes. So 45 shows. So I didn't want to ask for any spots because I just didn't want to go to your show, bomb, and then you're like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? And then that's it. If somebody asks you to be on the show, it's different. I was talking about this with Angel the other day. If you talk to someone and you ask for something, right? Like if you ask for an opportunity and you fail, then it's on you because you asked for it. You thought you were ready and you asked for it. But if I ask you if you want an opportunity and then you fail, it's on me because I thought you were ready. And it's on you too, it's also your accountability. But in the dynamic of the relationship, it's on me, right? So that if you come back and ask for a second chance, then I can be like, well, maybe you're ready. And I can give you, you're more inclined to give someone a second chance if you asked rather than if they asked. You know what I mean? Like, if you ask me, I'm kind of like, all right, well, then I thought you were ready and you weren't. So now if you come back, what makes you think you're ready now? You know what I mean? So I didn't want to put myself in those positions and ask people for spots. I would always see different people's posts, especially with social media and scrolling. I always tell the story about Jersey City Underground. Was the show in Jersey City at the JC Underground. I think it's like a bar, restaurant or something. And then they have a basement. And in that basement, it's right outside the little train station. I think Union. I don't know. I don't know nothing. Please leave me alone. The show had like this cool brick wall and it had cool lighting. And, the hosts, were cool and they were funny. And I was like, man, these guys got a nice setup. And they got that cool brick wall and they got a cool audience. And the vibe it was just so dope. And I was like, man, I can't wait to be funny enough to be on that show. And I forgot how I got on. Oh, I got on that show because I offered the guys a spot. I hit them both up. I was like, yo, I like your show. You guys are funny. You want to do a spot? I have this show over here. Boom. And I didn't ask, excuse me, I didn't ask for a spot. They came, they did my show. I opened and they saw me do my thing. And then they asked me to be on their show. And that's how I wanted it. And then I fucking failed. But I'm still friends with them, right? I fucking went over there and I bombed. I sweated up a fucking storm on their stage and bombed miserably, a miserable death. I died over there in JC Underground, and I still love that motherfucker. And I think they got open mics. Oh man, they had the open mic tonight. No, they didn't. Come on, man. I thought there was no. Oh, fuck that. Anyway, yeah. So that JC Underground, that was one that I. Like I said, I wanted to be on that show, but I didn't want to ask. And I found my way on that show on the back end. So I didn't have, I had that opportunity with my show. And that's done that a lot for me. It's really gotten me a lot of bookings. And it's gotten me to meet a lot of people and get connections and stuff. And that's great. But I haven't asked. Well, this year, I was flirting with that. I'm like, all right, so if I'm going to do more shows, I need to ask for more stuff. Now, I learned a long time ago, if you want something, You got to ask for it. But it's the hardest thing in the world to do, for me at least. And for a lot of people, because a lot of people talk about it. So I had to ask, and I need to ask. So that's been something in my mind. Now, on Tuesday, my boy Vishnu Vaka was on the show. Did I mention that? Did I mention Vishnu Vaka's name before? If you don't know who Vishnu Vaka is, look him up. Vishnu is spelled Vishnu, and Vaka, his last name is Vaka. Very simple. Vishnu Vaka. The same way you fucking hear me say it, it's the way you spell it. It's worth the time to look up, watch a couple YouTube videos. If you like comedy, he's hilarious. I met him. Where the hell did I meet him? I think I met him at an open mic. I met him at an early open mic around here when like he first started coming around, and he was hilarious. And damn, I really don't remember how I met Vishnu. I gotta talk to him. He probably remembers. He probably doesn't remember either. Anyway, he's hilarious. So he comes. He does it. He kills. And after the show, we're hanging out in my car, and we are hitting the peace pipe with my Indian brother, Vishnu Vaka, and he tells me, we start talking about how he's opening. He told me the name of it. I don't remember the name of the comic, guys. I'm terrible with names, but this guy's a national headlining comic, and he, does everywhere. Stress Factory, New Brunswick. He does, all the hotels, resorts and stuff, comedy clubs, all up and down the East Coast and everywhere, right? So Vishnu tells me the story how he becomes his opener. No, I'm sorry, his feature. Vishnu is now his East Coast feature, and he tells me the story how he did it, and I'm not even gonna tell his story. No, I'm not gonna tell the story. So he tells me the story about how he becomes his East Coast opener. But long story short, he asks for it. He puts himself in these positions. He's not afraid to ask for spots, and I need to do that more, because now I feel like I'm more prepared and willing to take a chance that I could not die of death like I did at JC Underground. It's still possible, 100%, but I don't need to be afraid of that. I also think I've created more of a neighbor for myself in 2 years than I did before. But, I'm really happy that I'm doing this podcast and talking about these things, because I swear to you that when I came up with the idea for writing, like saying this stuff, that I'm going to talk to you about these specific things that I'm going to talk to you about in these podcasts, that I really was going to do this asking for more spots thing because of this Vishnu story and because of my goals. But I'm not, because just listening to me talk about this in these reasons at this moment right now, I don't think. I think I need more time. That's what I think. Yeah, more time. I'm just going to wait. I think I'm going to wait 40 years. I don't have 40 years. Fuck. Anyway, the goal's for 90 shows this year, so we're gonna make that happen. I have 0 on the boards right now. I've asked for 0 spots, so I'm failing. I'm failing at that right now for not asking for spots, but that's all good, because the fact that I know it, it makes me aware of it, and I can I can make adjustments. So we got to get to work. So, oh no, bullshit. I booked my first spot. I've already booked my first spot, February, see, man, just, you get down on yourself and it's not the right story. Okay. All right. Yeah, I booked my first spot already. February, I think right after Valentine's Day. Somewhere there, Rivaling Thread over there in Staten Island at the Rosebank Tavern. Beautiful show ran by John Kirshner and Nick Cara. Nick Cara, if you say his name really fast, he sounds South American, right? Nick Cara. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Yeah, so I already booked my first show. So I've been failing at asking, but it's only the 9th. So we're not going to get down on ourselves and start the pity potty. What else is going on? Parenting is fun, right? Any parents out there? Ooh, I'm bombing on my own podcast. Nobody's going to answer me. Yeah, parenting's fun. I had this very interesting interaction with my daughter yesterday. I have a 4-year-old, for those of you that don't know, 4-year-old girl. I'm going to share this parenting story. Not to say that I'm the best parent in the world, but there's a what do I want to say? There's a certain standard that I want to set for my daughter that I don't share much about my family. You'll see my Instagram and all my stuff. Don't talk about that stuff a lot. I don't talk about parenting a lot. I don't talk about marriage a lot. I don't talk about, I talk about that shit on stage, but I don't talk about it like social, like as experience, because I'm new to this shit. So I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So that's why I'm not trying to come off like an expert or anything, just sharing an experience. And with my daughter, she's a really, really, really sweet kid, very smart. And she's very, very funny, and she has such a great personality, and she's so caring and beyond empathetic. Like she's emotionally like 11 years old, like a 10-year-old, like no kidding. Emotionally, like the way she feels, the way she understands, the way she processes, the way she relates, the way she just a lot of behaviors that it makes it very easy to communicate with her, it makes it very easy to deal with her. My daughter has been a dream as far as like a little person that you're raising, like the things that she learns, the way she is, her health and everything like that. Like, we've been very lucky, very blessed, and if you believe in all that stuff. And I do believe I'm very fortunate, 100%. And, considering the circumstances, she also was born premature, 8 weeks. She has hemangiomas. We spent numerous years, in and out of an oncology unit in Patterson, St. Joseph's, which is tremendous, by the way. A tremendous facility and tremendous people, tremendous everything. I'm so impressed. So impressed. My dad died in that damn hospital, and I didn't know what to expect. It's Patterson, New Jersey. I'm not gonna lie to you, kid. I don't go there a lot, so I don't know. So I already make my own ignorant assumptions. Right? Wrong. That place is fucking top notch. My experience, anyway. I don't want to, they could have fucked up other people's lives. I have no idea. But my experience with them was amazing, considering what we were going through, and wow, I never talked about this stuff. What was I trying to say? Anyway, yeah, well, the interaction. So anyway, my daughter's a really good kid, is what I'm trying to say. She's just like me, though. She's likes to make people laugh. She's a maniac. So she got in trouble. No, she didn't get in trouble. She was at my mother-in-law's house. And she came home. Why am I blanking out on this story right now? We came home. I came home, and my wife had left, and it was just me and her. And I was like, "How was your day?" And she was like, "Well, my day was good, except I said a bad word to Nona." And I was like, "Well, what did you say?" And she was like, "Are you gonna get mad?" And I was like, "Probably. I'm already upset right now. What do you mean you said a bad word? I don't. There's gonna be consequences. Regardless if you tell the truth or not. That's gonna weigh in as far as you as a character. I want to build that up with her, that she can trust me, she can talk to me, she can be open with me. I don't want to violate that trust that she's gonna get. That she doesn't think I'm on her side. That's the point I wanted to make to her. I'm on your side. I need you to tell me the truth so that I can help you, not punish you. But if there's, if you've done things, that you also need to learn that there's consequences. So she tells me that, she called my mother-in-law stupid. And I was like, okay. And then, that she was trying to cut something out. And she just said, she tried to take the scissors out of her hand and called her stupid. She called her stupid. So I told her, all right, well, listen, you were brave and you told me. And I appreciate that. You were very brave and you told me the truth. So you're not going to get in trouble. But I want to tell you that I'm very disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed in your behavior. And I'm very disappointed in the way that you treated your grandmother, who loves you very much and does so much for you all the time. How dare you talk to her like that? So don't talk to me, because I don't want to talk to you. You're not in trouble. Go play. Just leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. I'm very disappointed and I'm hurt. You hurt my feelings because you called Nona stupid. You hurt my feelings. And she said, all right. She walked away. She knew that, I saw in her face she was upset. One thing about her, she doesn't like you being upset with her. She doesn't want beef. She doesn't want you to be mad at her. She does, if you're mad at her, that upsets her. So she goes in the room, and then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, all right, well, she's not going to get in trouble, but this is not good. I don't want my kid to be talking to her grandmother or her mother or me or anyone for that matter as a little kid, as a 4-year-old, okay? A 4-year-old that's going to turn 5 in February. Excuse me. As a 4-year-old that's going to turn 5 in February, there's no way I want you talking to anyone like that at all. This is not going to start now. We're not having it. I just kept replaying that in my head, and I started getting angry. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, I can't say nothing. I can't go back over there right now and start yelling at her. I told her she's not in trouble. I don't want to break her trust, right? So I'm like, damn. I was like, you know what? I'm going to call Nona. I'm going to call Nona right in front of her, and I'm going to tell her, if she ever talks like that to you again, you tell me, and I will take every single toy away from her. I will take everything away from her. This kid had a Christmas like a toy store, okay? The Christmas that she had. Very nice. Like I said, we happen to be very fortunate that we have, family that gives a lot, and, my daughter had a good Christmas. And I try to put it in her head that not every kid has these things. Not every kid has both parents. I didn't grow up with both parents. Your mom grew up with both parents that didn't get her anything, right? So be very, very grateful that you have both parents that are able to provide you with so much. That, like, I try to instill that in her, that to be ungrateful that you have all this. But I feel like in my head, no matter how you do it, the more you give your kids, the worse you're doing for them. And it's becoming more and more evident, especially with how I get so excited to give her a gift, and then the reaction is just like, ugh. Especially with the Christmas, I got her I got her a really big gift. My daughter's freaking 4 years old. She asked for a Barbie. She asked for one Barbie. Okay, this is how ridiculous I am. She asked for one Barbie doll for Christmas, and I bought her a Barbie dream house. Okay? She asked for a Barbie doll. I bought her a Barbie dream house. The reaction when she opened it was, oh, cool. Like, like she's excited. She loves it. Don't get me wrong. She loves it. I'm happy that she has it and all that good shit. But it was just, it's always anticlimactic. We do that every year. Me and my wife laugh about it. We do this every year where we think we get these gifts. Every year we don't compete, but we're like, try hard to get a good gift, that's going to make her happy. And I tell you what, every single year, the Christmas gifts don't matter. It's like just the quality of the gifts don't matter. It's the thought behind it, knowing what she likes and knowing what she's into, and that gets more over with her. You know what I mean? Than the actual quality of the gifts. So what the hell was I saying? Anyway, so I called Nona, right? Call Nona, and I sit right in front of her, and I call. She's like, "Who you calling?" Right? I'm questioning who I'm calling. You kidding me? If I was a fucking kid and I questioned my mom on who she was calling, she would have threw a slipper at me. All right, a nice little 3-pound Bradley slipper. She would have flew at me. I'm not a 3-pound. That shit is light. It's like a 3-ounce slipper. It hurt when you were a kid, but as like a 13-year-old, that shit just bounced off my shoulder. I keep getting distracted. I'm sorry telling this damn story. I call Nona. I sit down and I call Nona. She asked me who I'm calling, and I didn't say anything. I just looked at her. I gave her that stare that my mom used to give to me to let me know that I mean business. All right? Not happy right now. And I call Nona, and Nona picks up. And she's like, "Hi, what's the matter?" Because I never call her, so she thinks something's wrong. And I'm like, "Oh, nothing. I'm sorry to bother you. But I've been talking to Isabella about how her day was going today, and she told me that she called you stupid today. Is that true?" And she's like, "Yeah, she did call me stupid, but it was no big deal." Right away, Nona's coming to her rescue. She hears my tone and my voice, and right away, Nona's coming to her rescue. She doesn't want her to get in trouble, but she knows that she did something wrong. And she's like, "Yeah, she did, but it wasn't no big deal. I told her, I was like, no, I'm sorry, Nona, listen, it's a very big deal. She's a 4-year-old little girl. She does not need to be talking to nobody like that. So we're stopping it right now. Okay? I'm taking this very seriously. She told me the truth, and because she was brave and she told me the truth, she's not getting in any trouble. But she needs to learn that there's consequences. So if she does that again, you need to tell me. If she disrespects you one more time, you need to tell me, because if she does it, I'm taking every single toy away from her." And then her little head popped up and she looked over at me, and I said, "Every little toy. It's going to look like she don't even live here anymore." And then Nona was like, "Oh, okay." And then that was it. And then I got off the phone with Nona, and and my daughter asked me, she goes, "Hey Daddy, if you take all of my toys away, I'm only going to be allowed to play with my old toys?" Like, trying to negotiate. She tried to negotiate a settlement by offering me a false plea deal. Like, if that was what she offered the false plea deal on the table. Like, if we both agreed to this already, and just made the first offer. How do you make an offer from a disadvantageous position, right? You're not. I don't even know if I made fucking sense with that word, but you're not in control, and you're making. You know what I mean? Like, you're not in a position to negotiate, but yet you're trying to negotiate, and that was your move. It was a little noble move, and I said, no, I'm taking all the old toys too. I said, I'm taking the good new toys, I'm taking the old toys, I'm taking the table, I'm taking the carpet, I'm taking your toy bin, I'm taking the pencils, I'm taking everything. It's going to look like you don't live here. The only thing that I'm obligated to give you is food. I was like, I give you these toys, me and mommy give you these toys, and everybody gives you these toys because you're a good girl, you're a sweet girl, you're a nice girl. Everything that I told you in the beginning that she is, I told her right to her little face that she is, and that's why we give her these things. It's not because we owe her anything. It's because we love you, because you're a good person, and you do good things, and you're nice, and you're thoughtful, and you're sweet. That's why we give you these things. But if you're going to be calling Nona stupid and talking to people like that, then I don't need to give you anything. I don't need to like you anymore. That's it. I don't like that attitude. I don't like that behavior. I'm not going to reward it. And you're not going to get anything. And that's the way it's going to be. And she got up, came over, and gave me a big hug. She said, I love you, Daddy. And I gave her a big hug back. I said, I love you too. We had that moment. And it was very nice. And I just feel like the kids need to understand there's consequences early. Early, you gotta nip these behaviors in the bud. I don't want my daughter to be talking to people like that. There's nothing I can't stand more than seeing like little kids talking to adults like that, because it's, I don't know. I just like smacking kids. I think that's really what I just like smacking kids. No, I don't hit my daughter. I don't need to. I just threaten her, and that seems to be very effective. Yep. So that's how I'm going to end that parenting segment. You can catch me on TLC and the We channel, offering my babysitting tips. I don't know. That's it. It's almost 10 p.m., guys. Just wanted to rock out a little bit solo. I was upstairs, and I was after I finished my little chores, I was gonna hit the couch and play some video games. And I was like, you know what? I can go downstairs and just do a quick podcast. Keep banging these things out. Keep getting these thoughts out. Catching you guys up on what's going on, in case you're interested. Hopefully these experiences have entertained you, have informed you, have enlightened you, have brought you to a better place in your life than you were 40 minutes ago. Okay? But I do want to know, if you can for me, please, if you've listened this far, feedback would be greatly appreciated. Please give my podcast a review. If you're listening on iTunes, drop it, give me some stars. If you give me some stars, if you like it. If not, if you don't like it, just, keep it fucking moving. You don't have to say a thing. All right? You wouldn't have made it this far if you don't like it. So if you made it this far and then you try to tell me you don't like it, I think you're bullshitting. You're just fucking trolling me. All right? But I do want to know your opinion on solo podcast, first guest podcast, me talking about my thoughts and things that are going on, or conversations, or both. I mean, I'm not going to restrict myself either way. I'm still going to do both. But I just want to know, I just want to talk to you guys. That's it. I just want to talk. All right? Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you want to talk about. Let's make this interactive. All right, drop me a DM, hit me a message, anything you want to talk about. We'll talk about it. I'll bring it up in the conversation, or I'll sit here and talk about it by myself. You tell me. All right. Anyway, I hope you have a good night. I don't have any shows to plug because I'm failing in my 2020 goals. So I'm just going to plug Laugh It Up Tuesday, Nikki's Bar and Grill every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Different lineups, funny comics, The Illusionist, Chips Cooney. It's just a great spot. All right, that's it. You come in, you don't have to pay no cover. It's free parking. And we have a great time. It's wonderful. All right? Okay. Good night.